And away we go!
Yo, Joes! G.I. Joe was without a doubt my favorite toy to take outside when I was a kid. But the terrain wasn't always ideal to the little 3 3/4 inch fellas. Sometimes there were big gaps and ravines, and being a snow Joe stationed up north, even crevasses.
Take them over the crevasse, Tollbooth!
Between where the Joes were and where they needed to be in order to accomplish their mission. Thank flag we had Tollbooth and the bridge layer.
Cobra blew up the bridge! Bridge layer to the rescue!
Those chasms that once seemed impossible to cross were a
piece of cake for the bridge layer!
As wild as the design may seem, it's actually based off a real vehicle used by the military to traverse craters, gorges, and the like. The engineering is simple and sweet. No mechanics or electronics to break, and no batteries that need replacing. It was kid-powered.
G.I. Joe!
After him! Yo, Joe!
Both the bridge unfolding feature, as well as the sounds. The bridge layer packed quite a punch too. Big cannons on either side meant it wasn't just a vehicle used to get the Joes out of a jam. This big dog was in the fight as well. And it had the standard trailer hitch on the back to tow ordnance, making it one of the Joes' most useful and versatile vehicles. I'm starting to realize just how spoiled I was in the 80s with G.I. Joe. As a kid, I didn't always appreciate all of the detail that went into the sculpts, but I do now. Even up close, she's a beaut. A hallmark of toy sculptors in the 80s, the old school attention to detail, even if it wasn't necessary to the toy's functionality. The treads were hard plastic like on most Joe tanks, and in the long run I'm glad because the rubber on many of these vintage toys is starting to split. And it also had room for 2 figures, although we all know Tollbooth didn't need any help steering, operating the bridge, and manning the guns all at the same time.
Nothing you can't handle, Tollbooth!
And let's talk about Tollbooth. He was the driver included with the bridge layer. The set was released in 1985, and I always thought it was strange that the figure didn't have the same ball-jointed neck that Hasbro had switched to for all of the other 85 figures. Turns out this set was actually released as a Sears exclusive in late 84, which explains the 82 to 84 style head with no up-down articulation.
Tollbooth, we got a problem!
Tollbooth included a problem solver, a sledgehammer. Because like the old saying goes, when you've got a hammer, problems start looking like nails.
I hear you got a problem!
Let's take a look at Tollbooth's file card. Codename Tollbooth. File name, Goran Chuck X. Military specialty, combat engineer. Secondary specialty, transportation. Birthplace, Boise, Idaho. Bio. Tollbooth's love for buildings started when he was 6. His parents gave him a construction set for Christmas and he wore it out before he was 7. Every year his sets got bigger and more complex until he outgrew them all. Started building in earnest. Got his master's in engineering from MIT. Needed a bigger challenge, so he joined the army expressly to sign up for the G.I. Joe team. Quote, Stalker says, "We're on our way to an objective and come to an obstacle we can't cross. River, crevasse, mountain, whatever. Tollbooth gets us across. He may build a bridge out of whatever's there, blast a path through solid rock, or lay down a 4-lane blacktop. The man's got magic." In 2013, the magic got passed on to a Collectors Club exclusive update. He retained the same look of the original figure, but included several accessories. The Problem Solver was back, along with some pylons, barbed wire, a pickaxe, a pistol that fits into a holster on his leg, a stand, and a removable vest. And luckily, this update is compatible with the bridge layer. Plenty of legroom and headroom as well with the bridge in stored position above. Okay, so I've talked about the sculpt, I've talked about the figure. You're probably thinking, he isn't talking about the coolest part, the actual bridge laying action.
But that's gonna change any minute now.
Okay, it ought to hold.
Tollbooth, you and the bridge layer can do your trick now!
All the armor and firepower in the world isn't going to do you any good if you can't get it to where it can do its job. The bridge layer makes crossing the most deadly terrain a piece of cake. There's no gears that catch or get stuck. There's no clips that fall out. If it's meant for kids, it can't be complicated, because complicated does not equal fun. The bridge portion easily lifts off of 2 pegs in the back that hold it in place, and smoothly opens up and sits securely on the ground. The mechanism that attached the bridge to the tank easily detaches with a little pinch. And this 30-plus-year-old plastic doesn't feel like it's going to break, even in this cold weather. Despite its simple design, the bridge sits secure and can easily handle a convoy of Joe vehicles of all sizes rolling over top of it on their way to stomp some snakes. And it's not like the bridge layer has to sit back and watch everyone else have the fun. The bridge is wide enough to accommodate the bigger Joe tanks, like the bridge layer itself. The bridge easily attaches once again by popping the arm into the holes. And the bridge folds up once again, ready for the next time the Joes have a problem. In a toy line that featured many vehicles that were designed to destroy, the bridge layer was a special addition to the line in that it was designed to interact with its environment and overcome the challenges it would present. Because you couldn't always just strap an invisible rocket pack on your land vehicles and have them fly across the surface. Playing with your toys outside was serious business in the 80s, and we needed a serious Joe for this job. Just make sure you remember to pay the toll. And also be sure to check out CobraIsland.com for all your G.I. Joe and Joe-related news. Eric was a big supporter of this channel when I first started it back when he was content provider for HisTank.com. And I'll always be thankful for his efforts to share my videos with the online Joe community. Now that he's the head honcho at Cobra Island, let's give him a 10 hut and help the ranks of Cobra Island grow. Lots of great Joe news, past, present, and future there, and a forum to interact with other Joe fans. Thanks for watching, share if you liked the video, and to join the tribe, hit subscribe. Yo, Joe!